In the heart of an unsuspecting corporate office, a seemingly ordinary day takes a chilling turn. As tension escalates and desperation sets in, a group of co-workers is thrust into a macabre social experiment that pushes the boundaries of human nature. Welcome to a world where survival is the only game. The movie begins in Bogotá, Colombia. Mike Milch, played by John Gallagher Jr., is driving down a busy street on his way to work. A man from town approaches him in his car and hands him a figure crafted from an old corn cob. Mike purchases one from the man. Mike arrives at his workplace, Belko Industries. COO Barry Norris, played by Tony Goldwyn, arrives at the office to discover armed guards at the door demanding identification. As he enters the facility, we meet other Belko employees who have been there for over a year. Mike visits his girlfriend, Leandra Flores, played by Audrey Arjona, who is getting divorced. Leandra is constantly pursued by Wendell Dukes, played by John C. McGinley, who doesn't understand that she isn't interested. Danny Wilkins, played by Melanie Diaz, is a new employee who is told that the employees have trackers implanted in their heads so that the higher-ups can keep an eye on them due to the large amount of kidnappings that occur in the Colombia. Danny meets Roberto Jerez, played by David Del Rio, and Leota Hynek, played by Gail Bean. Not long into the day, the local employees are sent home, and a strange voice voiced by Greg Henry speaks over the intercom, informing them that the majority of them would be dead in 8 hours. They have 30 minutes to kill 2 people or else more will perish. The building is then completely sealed off by metal on all the doors and windows. Everyone becomes worried and tense, despite Barry's best efforts to keep everyone calm. People dismiss it as a cruel hoax. Maintenance workers Bud Melks, played by Michael Rooker, and Lonnie Crane, played by David Dastmalchian, attempt to melt the metal off with a blowtorch, but the metal appears to be too strong. Danny, Roberto, Leota, and IT guy Keith McClure, played by Josh Greener, head to the top, where they find cafeteria worker Marty Espenscheid, played by Sean Gunn, smoking a joint with 2 of his friends. One of Marty's friends is killed when the back of her head explodes as they are discussing the situation. The others are terrified, while 3 more individuals are killed with their heads blown out in the lobby. The other employees are terrified because they believe someone is shooting at them. Following a closer examination, the staff discover that the trackers in their heads are scheduled to explode. Mike walks into the bathroom to try to cut his out, only for the voice to speak up and tell him to stop or they will explode it on their own. Mike comes to a halt at the last second as Leandra begs him to. The voice then declares that they are not joking, and it is now demanded that the employees kill 30 of them within 2 hours, or else 60 will be slain. The employees begin to consider their alternatives, as some of them cannot bear the thought of killing anyone else. Barry, on the other hand, is determined to get home to his wife and children, so he approaches security guard Evan Smith, played by James Earl, and requests the keys to the armory. Evan refuses to do so after witnessing the death of one of his fellow guards and friend by the bomb. Lonnie is freaking out in the basement as Bud tries to calm him down. Lonnie replies by hitting Bud in the head with a wrench, causing a massive dent in Bud's head as he dies. Danny, who was hiding, observes the entire incident. Lonnie grabs her and attempts to stop her from informing anyone. Danny kicks herself back, causing Lonnie's head to smash into a metal bar, killing him. Mike, Leandra, and Evan encounter Barry, Wendell, and Terry Winters, played by Owain Yeoman, collaborate to use a blowtorch to break into the armory. Evan attempts to stop them by drawing his gun, but he relents and must let them proceed. Before leaving with Leandra and Evan, Mike steals Evan's gun and shoots the blowtorch tank. The 3 gather with Keith, Leota, and Roberto to create signs to post about the building to summon help. When the guards in the hangar notice them, they open fire, striking Keith in the hand. The voice orders them to stop hanging signs or their bombs will explode. Mike and his friends begin to return downstairs, when Mike is knocked down with a fire extinguisher by Barry. Wendell stabs Evan and steals his keys in the heat of the moment. Evan is in pain as he bleeds out. As they reach less than 20 minutes before their deadline, Barry and his team pull out the weapons and begin ordering people into the lobby. They begin to categorize people based on whether or not they have children or are over the age of 60. After regaining consciousness, Mike is taken in. Terry nearly gets to Mike when Danny switches off the electricity in the basement, and Barry and Wendell begin killing people. Barry, Wendell, and several of their goons begin shooting in the dark, while others escape unharmed. The voice says over the intercom that time has run out and that they have only killed 29 individuals. Keith and Leota are among the 31 victims who have had their heads blasted off. Everyone else is hiding. The voice returns and announces that the employees with the most kills will walk away free in the third round of their game. So far, Barry and Wendell have the most killings, so they go out to try to increase their total by killing everyone they come across. One woman offers her body to Barry in exchange for her life. In response, he twists her neck backwards. As Danny and Roberto attempt to reach the top of the elevator in order to hide, Barry enters an elevator. As the elevator goes up, Roberto is crushed, but Danny survives. Leandra discovers Marty and his friend Chet, played by Abraham Benrubi, in the cafeteria, where several bodies had been discovered. Marty and Chet extracted the bombs from the heads of individuals who did not have their skulls blown out. Wendell arrives and begins shooting. Wendell shoots Marty and Chet as they shelter behind a table behind Leandra. Leandra approaches Wendell and begins slamming an axe into his face. Mike and Leandra find each other while avoiding one employee hurling Molotov cocktails and Barry flashing his revolver. As Danny exits the elevator, Barry shoots her in the head. The Molotov guy is also shot. Unfortunately, Leandra does as well. She dies close to Mike before he erupts in wrath and pursues Barry. The two argue until Mike grabs a tape dispenser and begins pounding Barry in the head. Mike is the only survivor. The guards enter and drag him out. Mike is led inside the hangar, where he encounters the voice, a guy with a partially damaged face. He informs Mike that the purpose of this type of experiment was to monitor human behavior. Mike then discloses that he slipped the bombs Marty dug out onto the guards and the voice. He dashes to the control panel and detonates them, then shoots two more guys. The voice tries to talk Mike out of it, but he refuses and shoots the voice. Mike leaves the building. The camera pans out to see screens from dozens of other Belko enterprises where other survivors have finished their journey. The movie ends with another voice saying, Phase 2. Mike Milch eventually kills the guards and experimenters, but what does it all mean? Was this some kind of social experiment? A corporate evaluation? Or perhaps something more sinister? The Belko experiment leaves us with many unanswered issues and speculations. Continue to think about it, and share your ideas in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, give a like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe for regular updates. Thanks for watching.